I'm Barry Funkhauser, and this is the Barry Funkhauser Show. Here's what's going on. LA County captured 33 billion gallons of water from the recent storms. A large tree has threatened houses in Sierra Madre, and these are the best California cities to live in, according to Forbes. As always, I'm here with my co-host and general know-it-all current events guy, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Barry, are you staying warm? Because it's really cold out.
Man, I got here. You remember how you're like always worried about being late? And thank you so much for dealing with me because I was just a hair late today.
It's okay. I'm always late, so it's fine. Well, that's not true.
You're gonna be upset
Why?
with that. Well, I've been late all morning, all day, all day, and this morning I was rolling in trying to get somewhere by 11, and I was like, I got time. I didn't have time to cook breakfast, so it's like,
Did you skip Did you skip breakfast?
no. I told the sweetie, I said, I'm gonna break a rule and go to McDonald's this morning.
Oh, why? Why McDonald's? There's so many other better choices. I mean,
Because I just had double
breakfast is the best thing at McDonald's, but it's still not great.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason to go, And then so I roll up to one, and there's like a line out the wazoo, both inside and outside. So I was like, all right, well, I'll run into one between now and 11. And then it was like 10:32, and I was like, it dawned on me what has happened in the 2 minutes that between 10:30 and 10:32. They shut down the breakfast at 10:30, and
Oh,
no more sausage.
that's the worst, man. Why don't they breakfast all day, guys? Come on. People have different schedules, but when they wake up at 1 in the afternoon, they still want breakfast.
Yeah, some McDonald's locations, I guess, still have it, and some are open till 11. But you know what? It's no more. It's like the biggest bummer to start your day when you're like forced to go like, all right, well, I've got like 18 seconds. I bet you I can scarf down a little sausage McMuffin, and then you're rolling through, and you're too late by a minute or two. It's just
Man, it's the worst. They should grandfather people in. They should have like an employee go out there with the breakfast is over sign after the last car that gets in at 10:30, and then those people are grandfathered in for breakfast, and then everybody else after that
last
cannot
of the
get
line
breakfast.
ticket. Yeah.
See, I think that's the way they have to do it, or just be smart and have breakfast all day. How hard is it? Like what? Because so McDonald's, what? You can't open this freezer and pull something out and microwave it. You can only open these two freezers now to pull something out and microwave it. I don't understand.
McDonald's guy on YouTube, he makes shorts. It's like just do a search for like how to make an egg McMuffin, and then he'll come up and he's got a GoPro on him, and he's running around cooking. And I bet you one thing, if I didn't watch every one of his videos one day, like fascinated, it's like, oh, that's how they make a Big Mac. Wow. It's so cool. So no, they can't do breakfast and lunch at the same time because they don't have enough grill space, and the way the temperatures change. Like there's
Grill space? What are you talking about? Grill space? This is McDonald's, right? Did they actually cook things there? I don't know. I haven't been to McDonald's in a while.
They got like a thing that comes down, and you got to just watch this thing, and then all your questions will be answered. But then it's not like I can go to Farmer Boys at the end because it takes them 25 minutes to get anything out there. It's not fast food. It's good food,
Oh,
So-
stop.
So I got stuck with something just derogatory, man. I got a 10-piece chicken nuggets. I got the worst of the worst. So I've just been feeling it all day. It's like living in you after you eat stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. It's just like it's like a brick in your stomach.
Yeah, it's just like sitting there reminding you of the mistakes you made earlier.
Well, that sounds like a terrible breakfast. I had a great breakfast. You should have come over to my house. I made brioche French toast with some scrambled eggs and hickory smoked bacon. It was really good.
You a French chef now?
I got really, really good. Okay, so Linda and I, we love brunch. We're brunch people. We go out to brunch, and we used to do that all the time before COVID. That was our big thing. We didn't go out to dinner much, but man, We knew every single brunch spot in the greater Los Angeles area, and we knew what was the best thing on the menu at every one of these spots. But then COVID hit, and I couldn't get my pancakes and my French toast and my Monte Cristos and all the other things that I love to eat for brunch. So I just figured out how to make them myself, and now I make some spectacular breakfast.
Did you go
I
to
really should make breakfast for you.
figure it out, or did you? Who taught you how to do it? Was it Jamie Oliver or Gordon?
No. I don't watch celebrity chefs. But I do have a celebrity chef cookbook. Bobby Flay's brunch cookbook is really, really good. That's where I started my base for my French toast. He has this, what is it, croissant French toast recipe. I take the base of that, I add some extra vanilla, I add a little almond extract, and just because I like that nutty flavor. And I add a couple other things. I put a little nutmeg in there. It's so good. And then he likes to use croissants. I find croissants to be one, they're too small. I like a hearty breakfast, and a croissant's just not going to cut it. And two, they fall apart really easily. So what I like to do is I take a cast iron skillet, and I get either an Italian loaf or brioche or a ciabatta. Oh, the ciabatta is really good because then you get crunchy outside and just like gooey inside. So I do the French toast, I get it on the skillet, I brown it on each side, and then I pop it in the oven at 425 for about 10 minutes. It makes the outside super, super crispy, and it makes the inside like bread pudding. So I'm telling you, I have perfected some French toast. I also got great recipes for pancakes. I have made a couple Monte Cristos and croque madames and croque monsieur. Oh, like I said, I've gotten really good at it. The hardest thing about breakfast, making hollandaise sauce from scratch.
Oh, la di da. Sheesh.
Oh man, the double boiler thing is just it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky.
Oh, I mean, I can relate completely.
Oh, stop it. You just want to come, you just come over. I'll make your breakfast sometime. It'll be great, man.
I'm down. If it wasn't so late.
Just give me a couple days and tell me what you want so I can get all the ingredients.
All right. Let's get to some news today.
All right.
Los Angeles County has captured more than 33 billion gallons of storm water this time.
Well, we have some good news coming out tonight of the weeks of pounding rain that we have had. Here are some things you haven't seen in a while. Look at these pictures of LA County awash in water. The Department of Public Works announced today the county has captured more than 33 billion gallons of that storm water. That amount of water could supply 816,000 people with water for a year. The water was captured during the first few months of this winter storm season. The county is working to increase its ability to capture, clean, and conserve stormwater runoff.
Well, how about that? 33 billion gallons of water. That sounds like a giant boatload, does it not, Joe?
It does. It sounds like a boatload, but it's only 800,000, what was it, acre feet of water? And that's
water to provide 800
to provide for 800,000 people. Okay. Well, that's only about like an eighth to a tenth of the population of Los Angeles County. So it's great that we did capture this, and it's going to really help, but we got to do a way, way better job of capturing stormwater because it's not going to be enough. It's just not
days
enough.
Later, and it's still flowing right out to the ocean.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, it's still flowing right on out there. And there's a couple things here that I think that we need to do better at in Los Angeles. One is making local reservoirs. Like, here's a good one. Did you know on the 134 just east of Forest Lawn, like the big famous cemetery over in Burbank, right on the hill there when you're driving past the 134? If you're going east, it's on your right. If you're going west, it's on your left.
Right, the animation building.
Yeah. It's like across the freeway from Disney Animation Building, right? So anyway, did you know that they built a reservoir there? It's like that huge thing that's been under construction for years and years and years. That's actually a reservoir.
Is that what's going on over there? I thought there was going to be a high rise or something
No.
related.
No. They built a reservoir there and then they put a park on top of it, which is brilliant. I think that's super brilliant. Here's another one that you might not realize is a reservoir.
That's a pretty good spot for a park too. I mean, if it's above the let me think about that too, because you got to sweep a freeway there that's always jammed. And so the park there, is it going to be prettier for the people driving by the park to look at or the people in the park looking out? Because I think that if you're at the park, you're really close to like all of those angry honkers.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to matter to the park people.
Oh.
The park is going to be below freeway level, so you would look up and you would just see the retaining wall of the freeway, not the actual cars on it. You might hear some traffic and stuff, but when you're at a park and you're playing baseball, do you care?
Yeah, they're going to plant trees and stuff, I assume.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really nice. But another one of these local reservoirs that a lot of people don't know about is actually in Beverly Hills. It's on the west side at the bottom of Coldwater Canyon. There's like a really nice park there, and underneath that park, they redid this whole park, and then underneath the park, they put a reservoir. So we need a lot more of those local reservoirs so we can like funnel stormwater into those, and then it will take less energy to get the water, if it's already in a local storage, to the houses and the neighborhoods around there. You're not pumping water from Pyramid Lake 50 miles south to get to homes in Los Angeles or Beverly Hills. It just seems like a way better solution. So we need hundreds and hundreds of these local reservoirs. Then another thing that we need to do is we need to break up the bottom of the LA River, because right now it's just all captured in basically a storm drainage canal. Like way back in the early 1900s, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers came out here and they concretized the Los Angeles River.
Yeah.
In an attempt to control flooding, because everyone thought flooding was like this terrible, terrible thing. It's not. It's great for the environment. So what we need to do is we need to break up the bottom of the LA River. You can't keep the sidewalls. That's fine. But we need the bottom to be dirt, so that water that's running through the LA River recharges our groundwater aquifers. That's going to help a lot too. You know, we need that groundwater in there to keep just the environment itself all the way around from collapsing in upon itself. So the final thing we need to do is, like you said, all that water's just rushing down and it's just like spilling out into the port of Los Angeles and San Pedro. You know, it's just like right out into the ocean. That's hundreds of billions of gallons of water that we can be capturing. So let the water flow all the way down into San Pedro. And then right before it's going to get to the ocean, siphon it all off, clean it all up, and throw it in reservoirs. Come on, LA. We can do this.
Oh gosh, do you think it'll happen in our lifetime though there? You know, we've got a lot.
I think if we want LA to be a viable city to live in, it's going to have to. I'm not that old. I plan on being around for a little bit, so
you want
make it happen, Captain.
World down there, huh?
Well, no, it's going to look like Los Angeles in Elysium, that Matt Damon sci-fi thriller movie. It's like a dust bowl.
Oh boy.
Oh, the funnest thing about that movie though, when we were watching it in Los Angeles, right? So there's this like overshot of like Torrance and like where LAX used to be, and it's just like this hellscape. It's like just dust everywhere. The sky's all blotted out red. But the funniest part is the next scene, they show San Diego, and San Diego, the entire city of San Diego has just become LA's trash dump. And everybody in the theater in Los Angeles started busting up laughing. It was pretty funny. It was a pretty downtrodden movie, but overall that was a pretty funny part. It reminds me of that the scene in what was it? The Day After Tomorrow, that apocalyptic movie about the ice storm that takes over all of the United States.
Uh-huh.
And in that movie, all the Americans were running over the border to Mexico because Mexico was fine still, and then Mexico closed the border.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a brilliant satire right there.
Good writing.
It was just so funny.
All right. Well, today's show is brought to you by
Because I Have to podcast, when living your dream is the only option, with Julie Slater and Jason Friday. Because I Have to delves into the lives of people daring to pursue their passions. Available where you get your podcasts.
Well, Joe, I mentioned it a few days ago, but that giant tree that I told you about that was leaning into a house in a rich part of town, we came to find out it was Sierra Madre. Well, there's more information on that tree I was mentioning. Here, listen.
Everyone is safe after a tree almost fell on a house due to the strong winds. We've been showing you that video all morning. Well, yeah, now KCAL News reporter Christine Lazar is live in Sierra Madre with the details. Christine?
Hi, Jamie. Yeah, one of the residents who lives here was kind enough to let us onto his front porch. So we kind of have a bird's eye view of what happened. There is no power or gas right now to all the homes on this street, about 8 of them. And you can see why. Those are the mangled power lines that came down when part of the tree fell. It happened around 5 this morning. There's the tree in question. You can see it's now sitting kind of at 45-degree angle, pulling up the earth there, just a massive pine tree. It took down the fence of the home that it sits on, and it's threatening the structures, the homes across the street, which is why they've turned off the power and they're asking people to evacuate and stay in a hotel. We have talked to one of the residents, the man whose porch we're standing on, and he told us what it was like when he was awake at 5:30 and heard the commotion.
I went out there, and my neighbor who lives across the street, on whose property the tree lies, yelled out that the tree had fallen over, and for me to get inside because the high tension wires, the power lines, could possibly fall down.
And he actually saw a big spark outside his window right before he realized that that tree came down. Thankfully, no one has been injured. And at this point, the tree hasn't completely fallen over. So if they are able to make work of it and kind of keep that from happening, obviously that will be a good thing. I'm told that it's going to take 2 to 3 days to do all of this. They have arborists coming out today, but it's, as you can see, a very big tree. And the question always for this is, who pays for this? Well, whoever has the tree on their property, they're the ones who have to file the claim to not only cover their own damage, but any other damage on their neighbors' properties.
Yeah, and earlier I said it was I didn't say it was a pine tree, and that makes things a lot scarier because those suckers are super tall, thick, and if they're headed in your direction, oh boy, you better have insurance, you know?
Yeah, this was a pine tree then? It wasn't like a spruce or a birch? The big old pine tree.
One of them things. I imagine it was like a native tree, maybe one of them, what do they have out there? Magnolias? Those probably aren't native. But, one of them average sized trees. But, if you put any tree in an environment that it doesn't belong, these things will happen. I don't think pine tree is supposed to grow around here. Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
No.
Oh, man. It's just so funny when I get to say that. No, I'm pretty sure pine trees are indigenous. We have them all over the mountains.
Oh, all right.
Right? Hold on, I'm doing my research here. Because you don't let me look at the news stories before we get to read them. So, the coulter pine, or the big cone pine, is native of the coastal mountains of Southern California and northern Baja California. So yes.
Okay.
Local. Native. Boom.
A whole bunch of sense then. But It's still, it still is scary when it's coming in your direction.
Oh, well, I mean, especially if it's 100-year-old tree. Like, how big is the base of that thing? Those things get big, 8 feet around. Like, how tall was it? 100 feet tall? Those things can, really crush some houses. So I can understand why they had to chop it down, especially if it was on power lines. Think about it. Think about if that tree took out that power line. It would be literally thousands of homes would be without power for I don't know, days.
Long time.
Maybe a week. That's a long time.
Yeah.
People in that area with the rich houses, they don't accommodate power outages very well. They get very mad. Make a lot of noise.
They do not accustom to candles.
I love candles. I have them all over the place.
Get a bad rap, those candles, you know?
You
You know what? I now exclusively buy one brand of candle only. Do you
What's
know
that?
which brand? I don't want to take
Is it White Barn from Bath and Body Works? Because those are the candles, the only candles I buy.
That's the one.
Hey, look at that! I got it right.
I mean, we actually did a test, man. Nobody keeps the scent like those do, and they're worth the price too. They're a little pricey, but
wait, there's literally a sale on those candles every month,
man. And they're about a day or two. They're about a day or two away from changing that store name to Bath Candles.
Candles and Beyond. Candles and Beyond.
Yeah,
because that's seriously one of the only things that I get there. Oh, that and the orange ginger body soap is really good. No, but I like candles. I burn a lot of candles. These are actually like good quality wax, so they actually burn the wax all the way down, and you don't get like the clumps of wax that like don't actually burn and melt.
Right.
The scent is really good. Why are we giving White Barn free advertising? Move on. No more.
It's White Barn. It's probably Bath and Body Works brand.
No, it's White Barn. I am positive. Positive. I just spent $200 on candles. I know it's White Barn.
2 of them.
No, but I always just wait until they go on sale, and then you get them like 2 for 1 or $10 off or whatever it might be, and then you stock up. That's what you do.
Yeah. All right. Well, with its year-round summer-like weather, various beaches, and iconic landmarks, California can be the ideal place to live if you can afford it. An October report from Forbes ranked the best California cities people should live in during the new year based on key factors like the city's median home price, personal income per capita, and the rates unemployment and crime. And you can see the top 10 California list in the description of the show here. And Joe, you can see it also too. And do any of those cities surprise you? I'll tell you, number 7 sure does surprise me.
Well, I don't understand why, though. Oxnard is a lovely city, and it's home to Anderson .Paak, who just won a Grammy. Well, he's won multiple Grammys, but Oxnard's not that bad. You know, everybody forgets that Oxnard also has a beach.
I'm not saying it's bad. I love it there. Hollywood Beach, Silver Strand Beach, farmland for days. Oxnard gets a bad rap, but
They really do.
Look at all the other cities that are on this list, and they're like a lot larger.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that I don't get about this list. There's not as many. I would think that there would be a lot more smaller towns and cities on this list, but all this, like the top 10 is easily, all of these are over 200,000 people.
Even
right?
Oxnard, you think?
Oh, yeah. Oxnard has so many flipping people. Oh, my gosh. You got to remember, it's in Southern California on the beach, man. Oxnard population 2022. We're looking at 400,000 people. Yeah. 400,000 people live in Oxnard.
That's what I was going to say is let's check that because that city is growing like you wouldn't believe. There are so many things being built there, and it's becoming the spot. Oxnard.
I am surprised that Ventura didn't make the top 10. Oxnard made it, but not Ventura.
Because there's no growth in Ventura, very little growth.
Yeah, that's
Oxnard,
true.
If you drive up the 101, my friend, and you go past the Santa Clara River Bridge, which brings you from Oxnard, and you look toward where the Wagon Wheel Bowling Alley once stood, you will see room for 10,000 people. They have like 7-story condos, or maybe 4-story condos going in there, but they keep adding more because they keep selling out of them. So there's probably 15 or 16 of them and fit a lot of people in them. So it is growing like gangbusters.
Hey. Well, then you got spots 8 through 10, Modesto, Fresno, Bakersfield. That's the interior corridor on the 5, right? The 99 and the 5, right in the Central Valley.
You know, the bottom 5 frighten me, and I'll tell you why. Because those 5 are where you get most of your fruits and vegetables in the grocery store. So if they're building there, I guess it's like the most ideal place to live. So it's not about growth; it's about comfort, But it does frighten me that all the farmland territory is now like a beautiful place to live. It feels like they're urging us to move there. And
You think that farmland's going to get taken away?
well, it is.
I know it is, but farming is becoming more efficient. So,
Okay,
do they
well.
need as much actual land to get the yields that they're used to?
I don't know, but we're going to find out too late. I'm sure
I
of that.
know. So what do you think of the number one city on this list, Barry? Let's announce it. The number one city is
Sacramento, which I've never been to. I've only driven through. I hear it's like
You've never been to Sacramento?
a great place to use the bathroom.
Man,
on the way to Tahoe.
oh man, okay. I got to get you out on a road trip because there are just way too many places that I'm like, wait, you've never been there, Barry? Like, we got to get you to some of these places.
I really
You've never been to Sacramento? Really?
I really tried to go there once, man. I'll tell you, I had a day. I was headed to Truckee from San Francisco, and I had a day. I was going to stop in Sacramento and float around. And I feel embarrassed saying this now. I couldn't find the right exit. I was like, I'm just going to get off where it feels right, over there, so I could see the downtown. I'll pull off around there, and for whatever reason, it went right by me, and I couldn't get off. And by the time I was like, well, it's kind of too far to go back because it's been like 3 miles. I'm just gonna keep going. So I tried to go, but
Sacramento's pretty nice. I mean, they got the actual river that runs right through it. It's flooding right now, and that's a little scary. But I mean, in the summer, it's nice. It's literally like the only city in California that has any kind of river culture. Like the East Coast has like a bunch of places where you can go to the lake and the river and you get boats and everyone's out there. No, California's got one place, and that's Sacramento. But Sacramento's, I don't know, it's not bad. I mean, if you're looking to like be in a central location and get all of the different like ecosystems in California within an hour's drive, Sacramento's the place to do it. You're 1 hour to Tahoe, and you got the mountains right there. You got Yosemite right there. That's an hour away. You go the other direction, if for an hour, you're in San Francisco. You go up for an hour, you're in Redding over by Oroville Dam. You got Chico State right there. And then you go down for an hour and you're right in the middle of farmland. So it's not a bad spot. It gets a little hot and humid in the summer, but I could see why it would be
number
one.
Coming in a bullet. Number one, Sacramento. You think no money came from the Visitors Bureau of Sacramento to whoever made this list?
Oh, I don't think that. I don't think that Sacramento like greased the wheels here to like make it on some random list as
look up
one.
where Forbes' headquarters is. If it's in Sacramento, I'm jumping out the window.
It's not. It's in New York City.
Okay. All right. Well, fun places to visit and live according to this list. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 10 and go there. And I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Joe. We have a guest on the program. It is a friend of mine from the Carlsbad area, if you will, Southern California. He's a radio dork like you and I. Mark Kaz. Yes, Mark Kazkor.
Are you sure about that? You don't sound very positive.
Will be on the show tomorrow, so tune in so we can learn how to pronounce his last name. Mark, aka Mookie, on the program tomorrow. This is the Barry Funkhauser Show.